Alright, taken talk in the last video, we have created separate components and used in ReactJS application. Today we are going to see that how to implement routing in ReactJS application. It's very simple and straightforward process. First of all, we need to install React Router DOM package. So let's go ahead and install that. For installation, we will type npm install space react router DOM, and it will this command will install that package for us. It will take few seconds and that's it. It's done. Next, we need to create some routes and we need to wrap them inside browser router. So for that one, I will start with browser router, and inside browser router we should have an object of routes, and inside routes we should have separate route. And let's say we have one route for default. For that one we will type index, not this way, route index, this one. And for element we will say for index one just render the for that one let's create a component, a dashboard component. So far we don't have any segregation between those components. For that one, let us create a folder and let's name it components, and inside that folder we will add dashboard.js. For now, let's create a just empty component function dashboard, and this will return our template. From inside, let's just return div hi, I am a dashboard. At the end, export default dashboard. From here, now we can mention dashboard. We want dashboard as a default route, and we can now remove that that HTML from here. We place those in separate components. I will demonstrate that later how and what are we planning. Okay, so let me quickly start the application now. Now we should have a single view with this is dashboard component. Okay, for that one I will type npm start, and this should start our application. Okay, routes not defined, makes sense. We haven't included routes, or somehow it didn't include it by default. Okay, hi, I'm dashboard, right? So this is for the dashboard component. Now what we want is we want one component for our buttons and one component for playing with the inputs. So let's move those two folders inside separate routes. For that one, I will add here route, and I will give path to that route as buttons. And for element, I would like to use what was the name of our button component? That was button on click. For now, let's use that one. Button on value, button on click should be button on. We can import that one first. Button on click from buttons / button on click this way. Let me go inside that one just to see if that is linked correctly. This is linked, and it should be component like this, and then we can close that one. All right, and we will do the same for our inputs. What was the name of input component? Input value display. So let's type it in inputs, and here we can import inputs and input value display. This one should be working. Okay, if I type in /buttons, I can see the button. That's fine. For inputs, it should display the input. Okay, both are working fine. Perfect. Now in the dashboard we should have links for those two components, because dashboard is something where we will be linking all those separate section of the application. Whenever we want, or we will create a tutorial on input, we will be managing that one inside that input component. So let's go back to the dashboard, and here we can add what we can add here. Let's see. Here we can add something like link. and button examples. And same will go for the inputs. Makes sense. Let's go back to the view and see button examples, go back, input examples, go back. Everything is working perfectly fine. So this is how we can implement routing inside React.js application. It's very simple and straightforward, and this is the basic setup. Though there is something missing, which is layout implementation, so we will be creating a separate video on that one, how to manage layouts using React router. But for as far as router is concerned, that was all what is required for routing implementation. In case of any question or query, do ask in the comments and keep coding.